So here I am showing free body diagram of this body. So you have to consider this body as a point mass. In upward direction, the body experience what force? T2 cos 37, right? And downward direction, it experience M into G. Along this direction, it experience T1 force, and along this direction, it experience T2 sine 37 degree. Okay, so just look at here. If the body is in equilibrium, then these two forces balanced and these two forces also balanced. That means T2 sine 37 degree equals to mg, right? M into G. M means 5 into G equals to 9.8. So from this equation you can find out, just use calculator and you can get the value of sine 37, and then if we solve this equation, then you can find out the value of T2, right? And another thing, these two forces also balanced. That means T1 equals to T2 sine 37. Sorry, extremely sorry, this one is cos 37, right? Because in upward direction the component is cos. So just find the value of T2 from this equation, which is equals to 5 into 9.8 by cos 37. After finding this, just put this value at here, then you can find out the value of T1. Okay, so this one is exactly similar. We have to resolute this vector. That means this is T1 and this is T2. We have to resolute in two component. T1, this T1, if this is 60 degree, then T1 has one component along this side, which is T1 cos 60, and along this direction T1 sine 60. This one also has two component. Along this direction T2 cos 30, and along this direction T2 sine 30 degree. And this body experience gravitational force along this side, which is 2 into 9.8. Okay, so just I am making the equation. So one equation is these two forces in equilibrium. The body is in equilibrium. Okay, no motion is observed. So this two forces, that means these two vertical forces balanced by this downward force. That means 2 into 9.8 equals to T2 sine 30 plus T1 sine 60. This is one equation. Okay, what about free body diagram of this body? Just take this body as a point, and this is the 2 into 9.8 along this direction T1 cos 60, along this direction T2 cos 30, and along this direction T1 sine 60, and also T2 sine 60. Okay, and the another equation is T1 cos 60 equals to T2. This force cancel by this force, and this force cancel by sum of these two forces. That's why the body is in rest condition. So here T1 cos 60 equals to T2 cos 60 degree. Okay, so just solve this two equation from here. Sorry, this one is 30. So from this equation we can get the relation between T1 T2, and by using this relation you can find out. Just put here That means if we want to find T1, so T1 equals to what? T2 into cos 30 by cos 60, right? So cos 30 equals to root 3 by 2 by 1 by 2. That means root 3. So this is the relation. Just put this relation in this equation. That means T2 sin 30 means 1 by 2 plus T1 means T2 into root 3 into root 3 by 2. So from if we solve this, then you can get your answer, which is T2, and just put this value, put the value of T2 in this equation, then you can get T1. Okay. Find tension in string and normal reaction on mass m if m is in equilibrium. So just look at here, I am showing all these forces. So the gravitational force always vertically downward, which is mg. Then we will get two component of this force, which is along this side and second one is along this side. If this angle is theta, then this angle is also theta. That means this component is mg cos theta, and this component is mg sin theta. Okay, and normal reaction exists at here, which is along this side, which is in, because normal reaction always perpendicular on the contact surface, and this is the string, so obviously tension force is along this side. This is contact point, always tension force away from the contact point. So if the body is in equilibrium, that means if we show free body diagram of this body, then along this direction this is mg, along this direction this is mg cos theta, along this direction this is normal reaction, along this direction this is mg sin theta, and this is tension. So if we in this situation, in this diagram, you may not show this mg because this two component, right? If we show this component, then you can avoid this one. So I'm just cancelling this. So there's four forces exerted on this body, because if we add these two forces, then we will get mg, because here I'm splitting mg, right? The body experience sum of these two forces, or we can say the body experience mg, because mg equals to mg cos theta plus mg sin theta. So just look at here. So in equilibrium, normal reaction equals to mg cos theta and tension T equals to mg sin theta. Okay, so this is the value of normal reaction and this is the value of tension force. Next, you have to do this. It's your homework. Okay, all these values are given, and this figure is in equilibrium. So just do it. I'm solving this one. These two bodies are placed in this condition. This body placed on the floor and this body placed top of this m body. Okay, so that means if we draw free body diagram of m body, this is body m. So this body experience weight, that means gravitational force along this direction, which is mg, right? And this body also experienced weight of this small m body along this side, right, which is small m into g. and this floor, this is the contact surface, right? So this floor give normal reaction on this body, which is, here I am assuming that this is N1, right? And this is also contact surface. So this is our normal reaction in 2, and the gravitational force of this body is along the side, which is mg, and gravitational acceleration of this body, which is along the side, which is capital Mg. That means this fluid give reaction force on M1 body, which is N1, and M body give, and M body also experience gravitational force M1g along this side. So I am showing you this, and this is N1. And what about free body diagram of small m body? Just look at here. The small m body also experience gravitational force, which is mg, small mg, and this body is also experience normal reaction along this direction, which is give by capital M body. Capital M body give this normal reaction on small m body, okay, which is N2. So just look at here, if two bodies is in equilibrium, that means N2 equals to mg, and at here N1 equals to mg plus mg. Okay. Next topic is inertia. The inherent property of all the objects that they do not change their state of rest or of uniform motion along a straight path unless acted upon by an external force is called inertia. That means inertia basically is an inherent property of any matter, which for this property, without any external force, the initial state of any body cannot change, right? Without any external force, each and every body remain its initial state, and this property is called inertia of that body. Inertia is 3 types. Number 1 is inertia of rest, inertia of rest, number 1, this is number 1. Number 2 is inertia of motion. Number 3 is inertia of direction. Inertia of rest means if a body is initially at rest, then without external force, the body cannot move. So the property of a body which is initially at rest is called inertia of rest. If a body moving with a uniform velocity, or if a body performing uniform motion, then without any external force, the body cannot change its velocity, right? That means it's always remain its uniform motion. So that means inherent property of a uniformly moving body is called inertia of motion. Inertia of direction means if a body moving along a straight line, then without any external force, the direction of that body cannot change, and this property is called inertia of direction. Now second, and you should remember these things. Inertia is directly proportional to the mass of that body. if the mass of that body increases, then the inertia of that body is also increases. That means we need larger force to change its initial state. Okay, so we know we know we can easily move a light body where we have to travel to move a heavier body, right? So that means inertia of lighter body is less than inertia of heavier body. Newton's second law. So first, what is linear momentum? The product of mass and the velocity of a body is called the linear momentum of the body. That means linear momentum symbolized by P. So P vector equals to m into v vector. Here I am assuming that two bodies, one body is having P1 momentum and second body is having P2 momentum. So P1 equals to m1v. Suppose here I am assuming that two bodies have same velocities. Suppose, so that means P1 equals to m1v and P2 equals to m2v, right? That means if we find out the ratio, then P1 by P2 equals to m1 by m2. If we assume that m2 greater than m1, then here from this equation we can say that P1 by P2 less than 1, because m2 greater than m1. That means P1 less than P2, right? That means from this we conclude that for same velocity, heavier body having greater momentum. If P1 equals to P2, then m1 v1 equals to m2 v2. Okay, from this equation, if P1 equals to P2, then we can write product of mass and velocity of first body equals to product of mass and velocity of second body. So what about second law? According to second law, basically second law gives us the magnitude or value of force. If any force exerted on a body, then the rate of change of momentum of that body gives us the value of force which is exerted on this body. Okay, so just look at here. Here I am proving this. So that means the mathematical form of second law is F vector equals to m v minus m u by t. Here m into v represent final momentum, m into u represent initial momentum, and t represent time taken to change this momentum. Okay, so prove that F equals to mass into acceleration. From second law we know force proportional to dp by dt. That means rate of change of momentum. So that means basically it's not equal to. After that it proved that F equals to this, but according to second law, F proportional to rate of change of momentum. Okay, so just look at here. That means P equals to m into v, because P is the momentum by dt. That means proportional to m into dv by dt, right? Because m is, here I am assuming that mass of this body is constant. After exerted force, mass cannot change. Here I am assuming that. Okay, that means m coming out from this derivative. that means m into dv by dt. That means what about dv by dt? dv by dt means rate of change of velocity, which is gives us acceleration. So here we will get f proportional to m into a. Okay, now f equals to k into ma. K is the proportional constant. This is experimentally proved that if we take m equals to 1 kg and force equals to 1 newton, if we exerted 1 newton, if we give 1 newton force on 1 kg mass, then we observe that this 1 kg mass get 1 meter per second square acceleration. So if we put, this is experimentally proved, okay, if we put all these values, then we will get k equals to 1. So if k equals to 1, then the final equation is f vector equals to m into a vector. Okay, next one, differential form of second law. This one is also important. So we know f vector equals to dp by dt. Now p means momentum, that means mv, right, by dt. So if here m is not constant, both can change. Like if we take an example like rocket, in rocket mass is also changed. Okay, so that means if this is not changed, then this is the derivative in uv form. That means first we have to assume this one is constant and find out the derivative of second one, which is m into dv by dt, and plus, and take plus, and next term is, if we have to assume this one is constant and find out the derivative of m. That means constant term always coming out from derivative, so v dm by dt. So this is the differential form of second law. We have to remember another more thing, acceleration equals to net force by total mass. Okay, unit of forces, SI unit is Newton and CGS unit is dyne. Okay, so here I am taking some few examples. This is one example, find normal reaction and acceleration of this body. This is a body which is placed on the floor, and this is the direction of force. If we pull this body along this side, then what happened? What is the acceleration of this body? So here I am drawing, suppose this force makes theta angle with horizontal line. Okay, so that means this is a free body diagram. Here I am assuming this body as a point mass. This is the direction of force, and if this angle is theta, then we will get cos component of force, which is along this side. This is f cos theta, and sine component of this force, which is along this side, which is f sine theta. Another force, the body experience gravitational force, which is mg, and it's also experienced normal reaction along this side, which is always normal to the